organizer of the protest, and here to break it down tonight is Dr. Rupert Francis. We are waiting Herb Nelson, and of course uh, Jamaica Carlos. But they will break it down to us tonight. But Dr. Francis is actually having some technical difficulties there, so we'll wait on that. But the backpack drive is actually going well. We will be shipping this week. We'll be shipping our backpack to Jamaica and our school supplies. Um, it's indeed a success so far. We had not made the mark of the 1,000 backpacks, but we're getting there, and we have 8 schools lined up and excited to receive their backpacks. So let me let Dr. Francis again and see what he has to say. So Francis, how are you doing?
Not just good as you, my friend. I'm just hanging in there.
Yeah. Um,
Getting a look at what is going on, in the situation as we find ourselves right now.
yeah, yeah. I must say though, there has been some things that show up on YouTube. There are people that have been there. Look, as to what's going on, but I take it that the protest was in Canada was a success. Would you say that?
I think it went fairly well. What has happened to the other guests, though? I haven't seen them.
I have not seen Herb Nelson or or Jamaica Carlos. I spoke to Chris Dunn earlier, and Chris told me that he was working on getting them on, but I don't know what happened.
You have their numbers? You sent
Yes, I do have the numbers. I'm gonna call Sir Herb Nelson and see where is that, and then I will call.
Carlos.
Let me try myself here first. hmm So yeah, I told you about the backpack drive that we have going on.
Oh yes, I endorse it. I'm going to answer your question shortly.
hmm
About the my view of the what has happened in Canada. But to be quite honest with you, I must commend you on the yeoman's effort that you have put out with regards to the young people in Jamaica to give them backpacks, because that's a very um very important situation.
Yeah,
Um,
I
you know,
thank you, sir.
and I want everybody on this to please find out how they can subscribe and help the children of Jamaica. There's a lot of
Yes.
untruths going around, but let me say this to you: the Canadian exercise um, was in fact to me a success.
hmm
We went there, and we people came from all over. I hear people came from Vancouver and all over, that sort of thing. In spite of what negativity some people may throw on it, and they're saying this, saying that, for to just to disparage myself in particular, and Herb, and I think it's very disingenuous, to be quite honest with you. And I think whoever is doing it is a liar, is a mole, and is not worthy of a seat around any table, much less a round table. And you don't have people who are with you, and you cannot trust them. Okay. And I don't know who is saying that. For example, I heard on a program this evening that they were saying that the letter was not
So
written by me.
Nelson,
Well,
yeah, I just send you the link.
yeah. And
Then it's Sutherland.
let me say this too.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I have many samples of the
Okay,
letter.
we're already on. Okay.
We went through the letter, of course. We added, we subtracted, we literally divided, we did all sort of things. But I can say that we have one, two, three until we came to the final letter. And for anyone to say that, they must be a total fool or a total idiot. Okay, so they can hold that one, but that is from me. Okay, so you please, but you
Are you referring to members of the same organization, Dr. Francis?
whoever. No, I'm referring to whoever said that. And today I understand that Dwayne Lonesome said that. I don't normally say these things, but he's
But
not on the
wasn't
same organization. Rain Lonesome was not on the organization. Was never on the call to action team at all. He was never. He was never. So I don't know where they got that from. He was never there. We tried to include him. He says he's as his name says, Wayne Lonesome. He prefers to be lonesome. And that's what he was.
So you're saying to me that Wayne Lonesome was never a part of the organization?
Never a part of call to action. He subscribed to call to action because we all had the same agenda in terms of trying to get people to be aware of what is happening in Jamaica. But the majority of the decisions were made in the United States. And I must say to you that a lot of people don't understand how these were made. And for anybody to say that these were not legitimate, why would I, if it were not legitimate and I were not the person behind it, so to speak? Why did they threaten to burn down my house? Why did they threaten to kill me? Why did they threaten to harm me in any way, shape, or form? Why do I have to arm myself everywhere do I go? So you see what I'm saying to you, that people just don't understand what is happening here. And this is serious, not a joke. And they're not serious because there's a lot to lose. Look at what? They found $2.5 billion worth of cocaine. $72 million worth of cocaine today. Can you imagine the type of money that is going around in terms of Jamaica? And that's what's happening to Jamaica. Okay. I didn't make it up. It was just said by Mekwito.
Yeah, I heard it. The breaking news.
So you see what's happening.
But I still want to talk about this Wayne Lonesome not being a part of this. There are questions that had typed to me on my WhatsApp to say, then if Wayne Lonesome wasn't a part of this, how could he be the organizer for the Canada event?
Okay, well, let me give you that answer, the simple answer. The simple answer is that there are a number of persons who made up the call to action group. Okay. And he was invited in there, from my memory, it serves me right, once to give an overview of what he was going to do. But he made it absolutely clear that he was doing it not under the auspices of the call to action per se, but on his, because we had an alliance of sorts about where we were going with this. Okay, and that's what happened. That does not mean that he was a part of the call to action at all, because I know his name did not fall within that ambit.
Okay, I have a list of questions to you, but I think Herb Nelson told me that he's on his way home, and I just don't want to really shoot those questions without his presence. And
no, but you can ask me other questions until Herb gets here and until Jamaican Carlos gets here.
Mr. Vegas is celebrating that the organization, the Call to Action organization, which had an intent in his word to tear down Jamaica, is actually the Call to Action is tearing apart. Is there any truth to that?
If I were Mr. Vegas, I would actually celebrate as well, because maybe he got another trip for free to the United States to do what he thinks he's going to do. Or whoever is supporting him. And maybe he's trying to get an ODOG, which is the order of distinction. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. But he has no impact. And the impact that we have made as a group, he cannot compare that. Cannot compare our, what is happening. He cannot.
But he, Mr. Vegas is in the, he's big in the social media space, and of course he's indeed a singer, big time entertainer, has done many songs in the reggae space that is classified as an anthem of Jamaica. So his influence would be strong. So you're saying
that is coming from you, what you just said. But I happen to know that he was there in in DC the other day, and all he could muster was 12 people. For someone who is so hot, right? Somebody so good and so well known. How come you only had 12 people there? Don't tell me that. If you are a celebrity, if you are a celebrity of that report, You should have more people there. You should have. We had no such celebrity on our team.
Hey, let me just say hi to Ainsworth and Michelle. Paul, thank you again for your contribution. Paul had contributed big time to the movement with the backpack drive. I must say, contribute over almost 200 composition books and other things, many other things that he had contributed. I just want to tell you thanks. Catherine, dearly, blessings to you all. Greetings, 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 and thank you for being a part of this, guys. Just please share what we have going on here because it is of vital importance that the people of the diaspora, people of Jamaica hear what we're talking about because if, as you can see, Mr. Vegas is celebrating that the group that he went up against in Washington is tearing apart. So he started to celebrate, and there are clips going on with Wayne Lonesome being very disgruntled about what is going on. And of course, we have a picture of Dr. Francis and Herb Nelson floating all over social media, and he's calling you guys name. So is it that you and Will Lonesome was ever any friend, and now the friendship is break apart? What was the relationship?
Well, to be quite honest with you, my first time physically meeting Will Lonesome was when I went to Canada. I had not known him before. I never knew him before. Knew him was on social media. He was on our platforms before. I've been on a platform with him. But because of how he did things, I kind of stayed away from him because I don't cuss and go on bad and call people names and so on. I don't do that. And I don't associate myself with that type of behavior. I mean, he had the gall of speaking to a lady in a misogynistic way, in such a way, and lambasted the lady from Canada. I mean, who does that? Who could I be friends with somebody like that?
So the aggression, the aggression that we would have seen on social media, because he's not afraid to show his aggression.
Is he afraid, or he has no? Is he afraid and he has no character? What are you talking about? Afraid? The man is the man. If you say that sort of thing about people, and you're not afraid, you're not afraid. You have no damn manners. As they used to say, you have no manners. You have no brought up. See. Okay, so you want to run around the place and make people afraid of you? Go right ahead, enjoy yourself. But please, Dennis, do not celebrate a man who has no manners and no qualms about saying things. Because I spent, hold on, let me tell you something. I spent 2 hours with him the night before he did what he did. 2 hours, right? And spoke to him for 2 hours, right? And talked to him about how we could move forward and all that. But he does not want that. If it's not Wayne Lonesome style, that's it. Now, how can you celebrate a man like, and then celebrate a man like Vegas? Eh? They are both, listen to me. What I'm trying to say, Dennis, please. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is this. We must get out of this thing because people come and put on a picture here, a picture there, and so on and so forth, and can say this and say that, and they have a following. Well, unfortunately, I wouldn't be following him because I talk to the gentleman as a gentleman, right? I sat down the same table, we ate together, and you're going to tell me he comes on there and come and talk about I'm a JLP plant. Why didn't they identify here? I mean,
I have those questions. I must tell you, I don't want you to respond to those questions because I was waiting for more of the panels to join. And here we have no other than the big man himself, Jamaican Carlos. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Sutherland. How are you doing?
I am so delighted to be in your presence again. We are here discussing the protest in Canada. Dr. Francis is reporting that the protest went well, but on social media we're seeing where we see Mr. Vegas celebrating that the group that you're part of is tearing apart, and of course we hear Wayne Lonesome bashing Dr. Francis and Herb Nelson. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Sir Carlos?
Well, good evening, Dr. Francis, and you, the host, and viewers and listeners. Thank you for having me right here. Now, in terms of Mr. Vegas have a right to beat with 2 by 4. Because none of this should come in at 4. None of this should happen. It never happened before. So Mr. Vegas have a right to do him I do. Come on now. Him
Mm.
now make the ball a drop. He have to catch it and beat with. Me not have nothing to say about that. That's what Carlos say. No, me not have a long tonight, Me just me tell Herb and Dr. Francis that me not have a long time tonight. Cause me busy tonight at one of my night, but me happy. Me can listen, but me can't talk. But me have put
Right,
my
right.
part, yeah, me come talk about some critical areas I want to clear up. In terms
Yes.
of Mr. Vegas, like me say, Mr. Vegas thing is him have a right to do him I do. Cause like me say, me not have nothing against no political blogger where whether you're upon the opposition side or the party in the power side, you have a job to do and they might do it. Right? And if see a ball, then catch it and they might kick it down the field. Me not have nothing wrong with that. No. We know some now what go on social media. Honestly, me and none of these men never war yet. Yeah, man, the reason more while me and these none of these men, none of anybody in the group, we never have no conflict like that. Never tell Ratty say me I read, Lion, none of them. Or any conflict we have in the group, we might, we keep it inside because we have meetings. For all these call
Yes,
to
sir.
action we have in the United States, we take meetings, and after the meetings, you have autopsy. What happened wrong in the protests? What could we do better? What break down and did not follow protocol and stuff like that? We have long meetings and sometimes I tell the temper flare
Right.
up in these meetings sometime, but one thing we do, we keep it in house. Now, we know some stuff. It's a surprise to me because I did not know Wagwan. Because I honestly went to Canada with a good vibes. I was glad to meet the man and his family. I and the people in Canada who are meet me for the first time. So I don't have no problem. Me go to me tell us me buy a brand new. Me get
Yeah.
a brand new now I get feedback. Somebody need to
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
off.
yeah. No, I actually was testing because somebody are typing that they're not hearing, but I'm hearing from my device, so it's probably their
Uh,
device. Sorry about that.
yes. So me not because me not have no me say all of these gentlemen here, even us and Ratty, we not have no war with Ratty. We don't fight with nobody in the group. I'm sorry. Prezi, we never fight. We are your money argument. We never fight over money. We never argue over money in a no meeting. Ratty and Herb will tell you when him come. Cause that's why Herb make me come in okay, want to talk my part. So me not gonna talk nobody part about the money. 'Cause,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
understand me? That's why
Mhm.
Herb want me part. Me I talk my part now. The part about me, I hear them say the traitor part, where people say Herb a traitor, stabbing at the back, farming another group behind Wayne Lonesome back. I think I told Wayne Lonesome that myself. Come here, I'm reason. Me have not against the man. Never. You understand me? No, sir. We as a group no have nothing like that. Like I'm saying, anything we have to keep, we show respect. We don't come back here with anything. Now, in terms of the lady in Canada that gets cussed out the first night, that lady and her body, this, that, and the other. Now, that lady is part of the group, our group. And that lady was picked in our group in a meeting. Yeah, Ratty was there in the meeting, Lion was there, I think Herb, Dr. Francis, and all of us guys were there in the meeting. And the purpose of her in Canada is that we are going to win on some stuff in Canada. That was planned from long time because we have this call to action protests and different places supposed to go Canada, England, New York, Miami, and we have the place set up. So we know some, say my put on. He want host his Canada. So we say, okay, we're gonna go support. We're gonna support fully family from the bottom of my heart. So the lady that started all of this stuff here come out and say, we stop behind back and stuff. No, the lady is a part of our group.
Okay.
It was a conversation of we need a group in Canada, but everybody knows that we know some is we lonesome. He will tell us say him not giant group, him not going a WhatsApp group. But we're having a call to action group. We have to have group,
Right.
we have to have meeting and stuff, go meet people, phone call, all type of stuff. We know some not gonna do that. We know some in the world by himself, and we know that. We talk to the man all the time, and we know that. We watch him all the time, and you know that he's alone.
But Dr. Francis, sorry to cut you, but Dr. Francis has implied that he had taken that position. He had taken that position, and that he don't want to be a part of any group. But why was he allowed to get so involved that he could create a protest in Canada? If he's not a part of the group, why would he get that opportunity to participate in call to action and put together a call to action a protest?
Hey, that's a question for Ratty. I can't answer people. You say me not answer no.
Yeah, because but
that's a question for Ratty.
As you can realize, that don't make any sense.
Yes,
Right.
hold on. Let me finish what I say about the traitor part. Yeah. So the lady is not no traitor. She was picked in the group, you know. We said, boy, we have the meeting. So Ratty said, boy, if you guys can get somebody else in Canada, go for it. But we're not gonna obstruct Wayne Loan, so we can do whatever we want to do, basically. And that we understand. And we get the lady, me and Lion. Yeah, and we call the lady, you know, is a friend of mine, you know. And no, we say to speak no good, but because we know so it's not in our group, in a meeting, I think it's all misunderstanding, if you should ask me. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding happening here, and what shouldn't happen. Yeah, a lot of misunderstanding. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding, if you should ask Carlos. I mean, like where I go on, from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. So that's the part one come straight out there. Is Herb.
No, Herb told me that he was on his way home and he will join us in a few. I wish Rattigan was here to explain why would Wayne Lonesome get the privilege to put together a call to action protest when he take a position that he don't want to be a part of any group. He want to be precise like his name. He's a lone sub.
All right.
So I don't get that. Like I said, I'm not gonna push that question down your throat because
no.
it is that would be Mr. Rattigan's question.
Hey, me a bottom feeder. Me a bottom feeder in this. Me a Jamaican Carlos.
Well, you're very active. You're very active, man. Everybody know you. Everybody know you already, man. You're the big man. You're the real.
I've been on social media a long time, so people know me. You know.
Right. I don't know if you had seen. I have to drop the scene. I don't know if you had seen that we're doing. I'm doing a 1,000 backpack drive to Jamaica for those people that was affected by the hurricane. I don't know if you see it, and if you do, what do you think about that move? You haven't seen it?
I never seen it. I have to go check it first before we can.
Yeah. Well, it's actually coming to the end because I'm gonna be shipping this weekend, but I am sending 1,000. Well, I'm trying to send. I just have a couple of hundred right now, but I'm trying to send a 1,000 backpack to Jamaica for the kids that was mostly affected. Manchester, Sutherland, and Clarendon, and Westmoreland. One school in Westmoreland, New Hope Primary. So that's what we're doing. I just want you to highlight that sometime when you get on the show that somebody is doing something positive.
I like that. I like that, especially for kids and kids, send a barrel of food for them, eat it and they gonna toilet. Education and push.
Yeah, but no, well, I have to push the education. Dr. Francis, I'm gonna get back to you, but I have to push the education because education is a key out of the crime situation and many other situations that we have. And so I want to approach it from that end. I just don't want to be one of the guys that highlight just what is going on negative. I want to make a change, and that's the way I am doing, making a change. And Dr. Francis, I tell you guys from time to time that I had started this project before. It's just that this is the first time because of hurricane burial, I'm going public with it, asking for contribution. But yeah, man, that's what we're doing. I just have to let you know and the others know that we're doing something positive. Dr. Francis, you You have anything that you want to weigh in on what Carlos had said?
I think that Carlos is a real diplomat, actually. He's a diplomat of no mean order. But what he said about Vegas was true, that Vegas is a person who's seeking attention. But it seems to me that there's some people that we interact with that are being very disingenuous. They know the truth, and they are just spilling pure lies. And that is not good, because the call to action was there and was made there because we wanted to make sure that we could have a Jamaica that we could be proud of, and that we could make sure that we had advanced as a people. And so, to be quite honest with you, we did not expect to have people quarreling and pointing fingers and, saying things about other people that they normally wouldn't say.
Right, but if the person is not a part of the group, why? And many persons that are not a part of the call to action group are saying various things. So if the person is not a part of the group, as you had stated earlier before Carlos came here, why would you surprise that the persons like Wayne Lunsom would have said some negative stuff? He did not commit to the group. He's not abiding by the mission statement of the group. So he can't say anything. So you as an exposed person and a person, educated person that been around, you should not be surprised, really. That's how I see it.
I guess it's expectations of the type of personnel that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. And hold on.
I'm sorry to cut you there, Dr. Francis. Wayne Lunsom was always an arrogant person. So why would you? The things that you guys are, you're saying we should as it relates to surprise, don't make any sense to me.
Well, it may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to a lot of people who have been responding to that and his type of behavior. And if you're going out there into the public, you have to make sure that you put on a good face and do the right thing in the public purview. You can't. If you're going to lead people, you have to lead them. Is that how you lead your children? Is that how you lead people?
And there we go again, Mr. Dr. Francis. I'm not bashing you or Wayne Lunsom, but I'm saying he has been behaving this aggressive way on his show, and he's leading his people that way. So what is the surprise here is that's what I don't get. Is like you're expecting you're expecting something different other than who he had portrayed on his show. I don't know why would you have that expectation. I'm just saying he's being himself.
Yeah, well, I do believe in people, and I do believe in changes. I guess some people cannot change.
All right, and that's what I believe in too. So that's why I said that. Jamaican Carlos, do you think the protest in Canada was a success though? Are you moving closer to the objective by taking the protest to Canada?
Well, Canada, we have a group in Canada we are developing, and that women feel that it's causing the problem. Why they are saying that? I think we don't know if that's why the people are saying that Herb stabbing at the back and having another group. But remember, we know some don't join group, so right. it wouldn't be a stab in the back. So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But could somebody break it down then for the listeners? What happened that take us here? Could somebody just lay out what started? Because we're hearing about stab in the back, we're hearing all these negative things, we're people celebrating and all that, but we're not getting how this all started. How did we get there?
I think Herb can explain a bit better, and Dr. Francis after me. Well, I told you about the first we hear about, when I blast the lady, right? And the ladies are, because I don't know if you know that the ladies are part of the group. I don't know, because he's not a part of the group. I don't have nobody telling that the ladies are part of the group. So
him start bashing the lady and persons take positions against him bashing the lady. That's what happened.
Yes.
No. Go ahead, Dr. Francis.
No. People took the position.
All right. Hold on, Dr. Francis, because I wanted to break down. You guys went there. Everything was fine. Everything looking good. We are moving in the right direction. What happened that changes? Can you give us a step-by-step, break it down step-by-step as to what happened? How did we get, when the change started?
I don't believe you could do it step by step. I think that some, as I say in Jamaica, sometimes people drink mad puss piece. That's the best way I can explain it. There's no explanation more than the fact that some people want their way, and if they don't get the way, they explode. And he exploded. I can surmise all I want, but I cannot tell you how this gentleman, if he's a gentleman, behave like that. Because as you say,
all right. So what is his way? What is his way? We hear that in cuss up one lady. We hear him cuss up one lady. But what would have been? What would have caused it? What was his demand or request that was not met, and this lady had disrupted?
He wanted to listen to me. Nobody stopped him. He wanted to control Canada per se as his territory. If that's what he wanted, he could get it, no problem, as far as I'm concerned. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have to make it into something else. Just like how we are bewildered right now about his behavior. I'm bewildered. I did not expect that. We spoke amicably. Both himself and family and so we spoke amicably. But sometimes you cannot reason with some people. I wouldn't go redo the angry bull. I would not.
Can I say something before I'm gonna leave? Because it's flashing in my mind. Come and say we don't have enough time right now. Time up, wind up. But we can listen. No, so we come back from, so we have a wonderful time in Canada, brother.
Yeah.
People remember wonderful. Listen, man, I'm sorry I left the next day. I'm sorry I never spent a couple more days in Canada. I love the place bad. We have a wonderful time. Get a brand new suit, brand new boot, and go to Canada go represent we and stuff. We love it in my heart. Everybody will come there and say nothing, no half, nothing. Everything was beautiful. Everything was, to me, was beautiful. It's after me I hear stuff and me not feel good. Sorry, me not understand. It's after me I see things. You understand me? I say we shouldn't go out there. Any autopsy we have to do or any thing we have to do after, make us do it and keep it in at the fore. Because a politician meeting, we can't beat each other. And so me see.
Right.
Because brother, we say we look good the whole way. We talk good, no itch. God Canada, every man.
So where this thing come from that what money was given and the money didn't share and the dispute caused from the sharing money. Look here, man.
No go so man. We never have no problem with money in our group, man. We never have no problem like that, my money never share, man.
But you know say that on the social media.
Yeah, remember, let me tell you. Let me tell you right now.
Let me just put it clear. Let me just make it clear, Sir Carlos. I am not taking a position now. I am getting the question to ask. Okay.
No, me understand you. Me understand, man. Me understand. Me just answer your question, my brother. I'm gonna say people have a right to talk, We say we can't stop people from talk because it's like a man draw down them pants and come out in a public for people kick we in our rear. So we don't have no problem if anybody go there and tear into it. We deserve this because this should never happen. Remember me a blogger, Remember say me a blogger. We always are looking things that we talk about. So if you're a labor right blogger, would you miss a moment like this? Or what do you?
No.
So me not wrong them. Me not beat labor right blogger, No, so me not beat them. Me not against labor right blogger. Them have a job to do. So me not wrong them, brother. What me I say where this a come from? I think it's a misunderstanding. The lady was recruited from our group with advice. Remember, say we have meetings in a man and we agree on stuff and we vote on stuff. We never quarrel yet. We never disrespect each other yet. We keep everything in house. We do everything in house, my brother. It's some misunderstanding. I think we did not know that the lady is a part of the group because if we didn't know that the lady was part of the group, I don't think we would have gone so hard. I don't know. So Herb is here. I mean, I have more time, so let me sit down a little bit and make Herb talk.
I just want, before Herb said anything, I just want to say this to you. Some of the things, my friend, that you're hearing must have come from the group. So you have people who do not want to see the group work. They are moles. Okay, I'm not that they're
Are,
degenerate.
are you talking about people from the group that don't want the group to work, or outside?
Either near, in, or what, wherever they come from. But that's what's happening. Because when they come, they know better. And Herbert tell you how the money thing goes, because I'm telling you, nobody not trouble about the money. Okay,
Right.
so let me hold on. I want to finish this because you seem to don't understand that this is something that Jamaicans, have a problem, and in black people have a problem. When they see you're doing well, they have to tear you down somehow, especially when it comes to politics. We took politics completely out of this. And the only person who insisted on politics was 2 persons from Canada, basically.
Hey, let me say
and one
something.
I know from America insisted on
Sorry,
politics.
guys. I got to run. But we have one final thing to say before we run, guys. But I will listen. But me I go to work. Now, when we come back from Canada, our meeting, the meeting that we have was nothing. We weren't talking about Wayne Lonesome in a negative way. These 2 men here on the screen, they talk so well of Wayne Lonesome wife, so well of the woman, so well of everything. Believe me, these 2 men tell me say them surprised when them see I go on social media, just like me. These 2 men right here spoke to me and the group nothing more than wonderful stuff about the man wife, meeting the man wife family. That's all I have to say. I love me and for everybody. While we are brethren, I hope we can iron this thing out quick and fast. Me love you. I'm gone, Mr. Sutherland.
Yes, blessings those are great. Enough love. Here, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. So there you have it. No other than Jamaican Carlos telling us his side of what transpired in Canada. Join us now is no other than Mr. Herb Nelson. Sir, how you doing? No audio, no audio. You're on mute. Somebody mute him.
Mute. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
yeah. Good evening to your audience.
Yes, sir.
To yourself and Dr. Francis, and to Carlos, who just left, and to our membership out there. I am happy to be on a program, a neutral program, where you can ask any question you want, and I'll attempt to give you the answers as I know it. All right. I don't know if Carlos gave you the history, but we planned as a group, as a call to action group, we planned these protests: Miami, New York, Washington, D.C., Toronto, and London. And we, as a group, we never had to vote on anything when it came to protests or moving forward. And we have disagreements, but we discuss them, we iron them out, and we move forward. So just like any other group anywhere else, we operated as a team. Okay. Now, in trying to form the group in Toronto, we ran into all kinds of issues because we have to overcome what we refer to as maybe the outlier being Lonesome. Lonesome refused to join the call to action group, and he would not adhere to anything anybody tells him. So it was up to Rattigan to kind of talk to him and get him to go along and get us into Canada to be able to do the protest there. We really didn't need Lonesome to get into Canada because I have relatives there, and there's others there that Dr. Francis has that we could have latched on to and did an effective job. So everything appeared to go well until we got there, and we got to the location. When we do a protest, it's 9 to 3 in AM to PM.
Right.
And so this protest in particular was unique because it was scheduled for indoors. It was scheduled for 3 to 10 PM. Not a problem. We're flexible, right? when people were saying we don't think that's going to work because it's going to be indoor, it won't be next to the commission, we said no, let's give it a chance. We've never deviated from our plan. So now let's see what a deviation looks like, because this is also a different country and a different set of people. So we went along. We said in the first instance that we would have done it ourselves. We would have sponsored it ourselves. But Lonesome said no, he'll take care of it. He doesn't want no help. You know, he don't like working to people, and he don't like people telling him what to do. Fine. So we go forward, and we say we'll be there to speak, say our piece. You know. So we got there, and I met Brenda when I got there, because we wanted to meet before. We wanted to have a talk before. I'd never met her before. So this was my chance to meet, talk, and see exactly where she's coming from, and she can understand where we coming from, or what we needed to see in a global Jamaica diaspora movement in Canada, right? Which was an extension of the overall movement that was headquarters in the US. But we understand Canadians have their uniqueness, and they may have something different that they wanted, deviation. We're doing the same thing. We're talking to people in the UK, and we're trying to set things up there as well. So we had our chat, and then we move at 3 o'clock, we move inside, anticipating that things would get started. Well, we were inside, and I realized by 4 o'clock that some of my partners weren't there yet. So I knew there was heavy traffic in Toronto because I'd encountered it earlier. So I said, well, maybe it's the traffic, and maybe they'll be here shortly. So by 4 o'clock, everybody else arrived except for Wayne and Ratty. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go around to each table, shake hands, kiss babies like a politician. So that the people can get to know who they see on the, because that's what they're saying. Oh, Mr. Herb, Sir Herb, I see you all the time. Glad to meet you in person. And then I'll go around, meet them in person, and, see how each person reacts and see who they are. Because we have to evaluate. And we have to keep looking for potential.
So you were taking that position not because of the absence of Lonesome and Ratty. You weren't taking that leadership position because of their absence. You were just trying to be friendly and I was trying to be polite. Then put it that way.
Precisely.
Okay. Thank you.
So moving around and meeting and greeting and anticipating, if I can do this till 5 o'clock. Then they'll show up. So we continued to meet and greet, and then 5 o'clock comes. I'm getting hungry, getting thirsty, so I go over and I buy a soft drink. Right. The first indicator that something was off was just buying the soft drink. I give the lady $10 US, and I get back $5 Canadian. So I said, wait a second. A soft drink costs, and I calculated to be about $7 US. And she said, yeah, that's your change, $5 Canadian. I said, okay, no big deal. So I go ahead and I buy my soft drink, and continue to chit chat with folks. Got to meet some people by the door, congregating by the door. And I don't know if Doc can remember what time he showed up, but whenever they showed up, we got to talking. And we got to trying to figure out how we can kill more time until Ratty and Wayne get there. Because when I spoke to his wife, I said to her, look, I need some papers. These are the papers she gave me. About 6 different ones with the names on it. because I figured if we were gonna take a head count and to collect any money in that location, we need to know who gave us money and how much. And the people who gave money, I made them write their, not just the name and phone number, but I made them write the email as well, so we can thank them.
What
by
is this
email.
money for? What is this given money
The
for?
money is OJLDF, One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. That's the only thing we collect for when we're on the road, right? OJLDF, because it's a source of our investigations and a source to support our protests. And that's covered in.
So the one the OLDGS, whatever it's called, the
One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation.
One Jamaican Legal Defense Foundation, yes. One Jamaican Legal Defense Foundation. How are they in coalition with Call to Action? How does that work?
Yes. The Call to Action group was formed to deal with the protests. When we saw that Dr. Francis's letters to the ambassador wasn't going anywhere, we said, okay, we need to do these protests. We need to get their attention further. We need to let the government of Jamaica know that we object to the rampant corruption and we weren't gonna have it. We need to let their people here in the US know we weren't gonna put up with them covering for a corrupt government either.
Right, I understand that.
Okay.
So may I just interject 1 minute? I had nothing to do with collecting money. Collected once, sent it off. I had nothing to do with no money and so on and so forth. Okay, you understand? But it was said by Lonesome, that same man you just defended, that I was after money. He said that. Okay, that's the level of the type of person you're defending.
I want to ask, who defended him?
You.
Not me.
Yes.
No.
Let's not
never.
go back.
Okay, all right, guys. That's neither here or there. Let me
I would not defend Loso. I was just saying. I was trying to figure out how he get parachuted into all this if he's not a part of it, and I'm trying to ask all the questions. There are questions that is.
Let me iron that out, Dennis.
Yes.
Lonesome is involved with this because he insisted to Ratty that he wanted to do the protests in Canada, that he could handle it, right? And so Ratty solely made the decision that he was going to support Lonesome, and he wanted Lonesome to go ahead and do it.
Solely, okay, solely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So at that point, we had a conversation amongst ourselves, and we said, look, if Rat is going to be out there on the front line and he's going to support Lonesome, then we will come in and as a group do what we normally do with protests, support each other.
Okay.
You follow, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. All for one, one for all, if we can use that terminology. So, like I said, we're there, and in anticipation, remember, we always preach what? Transparency, accountability, right? In good governance. So we have to practice transparency and accountability ourselves. Yeah. So at every protest that we've been involved with, we have always collected the names and numbers of people and annotated who gave money, right? So we didn't change anything that we were doing with this protest in Toronto. Wayne was set up to sell his own T-shirts, so we did not put our T-shirts out there. Although the lady who was Barbara, who was there with the T-shirts, we were able to maybe sell a couple of them because people wanted T-shirts from the protests in the U.S. Right, and we sell might as well too. The bottom line is we let Wayne do his layout, and then we found out that there were charges for food, and that one lady, she bought something like fried chicken and the conch soup, and she paid $35 US, and she was complaining that it was too much money, that it was actually supposed to be 35 Canadian dollars, but they took 1 for 1, $35 US. So we kind of calm a lot of people down because they were paying straight up US money when the Canadian dollar was 32 US cents less than the US dollar. So we calmed that situation down. We asked people not to make a bunch of noise over that we're guests in the country. But keep in mind, Dennis, people are coming thousands of miles to support this.
Right.
And coming thousands of miles means that you put out funds. I think each of us put out probably about $1,000, right? Now, they made noise over reimbursement. The only people I know who got reimbursement for any kind of travel or hotel room has been Prezi, and to a lesser extent, Dr. Francis. I might be wrong, but they got, I think Dr. Francis got a little over $300, $318 to be exact. And Prezi got his, which I wasn't privy to that amount because Prezi don't tell anybody anything. But he made sure he approached Ratty and got his reimbursement first. And then, he was done. My thing is, Dr. Francis is a Social Security recipient. And I told Ratty that I wanted to say, Dr. Francis, get some money back for his travel, because you have to travel, speak, and this is all an effort in support of the anti-corruption against the Jamaican government, or speaking directly at the consulates and at the embassy.
Right.
So when they start bringing up noise about monies being misspent or anything like that, look, I spend $900 on round trip and rental car, over 900. I don't ask for a penny back. I was doing investigations, and being out there, I had to spend out over $3,000 US. And it's just recently Ratty found money, because I said, if there's no money in the kitty, there's no money in the kitty, right? But we have to do the investigations. Now, a lot of the investigations are very deep, and it involves a lot of highly personal information that you must validate on the ground. We had a police officer working for us. I think he was in medical status, so he had the time, and he could do it. He could validate stuff for us. And I asked him to validate a certain case. But we have a lot of cases that were completed. And so we had to work timely to try and get validation of the information done. But a lot of information was coming in, a lot of hearsay, a lot of rumors. You can't put rumors in your report. You have to validate the information. So I'm not the type that go out there and put out information on people. If I do an investigation on Dennis Sutherland, I must validate stuff before I put it out. I'm not going to say Dennis Sutherland is a bad DJ or host, and that him need to be off the air based on rumors.
Right.
I must be able to validate it. That's my training. That's who I am, right? So when they're saying that we're doing this and we're doing that, we're monitored by IRS. We can't be doing no chicanery business with the account. This is IRS approved activity, and we have to explain every single entry if we have to IRS. And I have an accountant I deal with as well. So I'll make sure that what we're doing is on the up and up. Right? Now, we have completed investigations. We have completed protests. And I believe that we are in good stead.
Right.
Mr. Lonesome and his wife, Angie, knows nothing about what we have been doing. But Lonesome is very close to Rattigan. And I have no idea what he and Rattigan discuss with regards to OJLDF or the call to action, right? Now, unbeknownst to me, all this time, I don't know, do you remember when Rattigan told you he was leaving the call to action, Doc?
Yes.
When did he tell you?
About 2 months ago.
Yeah. So 2 months ago, he told Doc Dennis, Dennis, I am Rattigan's party partner. On Reason with Rattigan. And I had no clue that Rattigan was out of the group until Doc told me one day, right? Because Rattigan's name was always there on the list, always had access to the group.
So and this is where it get confusing now. It get confusing because I thought the protest was, which was hosted by Rattigan and was a call to action that Ratty has some leadership position in. How could we have a protest? So what the protest in Canada then? What was, I know what it was about, but how could you organize? Under what body was it organized? Was it under call to action or was it OJLDF?
Nothing is under OJLDF. OJLDF is there to deal with corruption and to back up the protests if we have to. But the all protests are call to action. And Ratty was included in call to action for all previous protests. Up to and including the projected protest in Toronto, which happened. So because we had that on the schedule, we were going to do it as a group. So even though Ratty left the group, call to action group, we still executed it. You follow me?
Under by his friend or association.
His friend and association, Lonesome. We still went there. Why? Because we have to protect the good name of the global Jamaica diaspora movement, as well as the call to action, as well as the OJLDF, right?
So you are protecting the integrity of those organizations. But then it is done, the protest was done on a more of a friendship basis. I mean, don't you guys have a criteria that has to be met before these things happen? Are you? Let me ask you this, Mr. Nelson and Dr. Francis. Don't you realize by now that was all a mistake?
No, it's not a mistake. We don't make mistakes like that. No, it was deliberate. We want to create, and we did create a North American, Canadian, UK understanding of global situation. Okay, that's what we're trying to achieve. And they're going to have different people, different people in any organization. And so we have to be flexible. And that's what the word flexibility means. So we are not crushing. You can shake your head all the while, but it's a tool of war. I'm saying, and if you're not flexible, if he could not say to him, for example, with his enthusiasm, his work that he has done, that we could not support you. That would not happen on our watch. We are gentlemen.
Dr. Francis, I'm not shaking my head at you. I'm just shaking my head at something that I read that that was said earlier by Mr. Nelson. He said we in Lonesome don't like people tell him what to do. Now, an organization that like Call to Action or OJLDF, how could an organization that has substance, that should have some substance to it, gone under the leadership of a man who say him not tell, you know, and nobody tell him what to do, and then he is not a part of, a part of a Call to Action.
No,
because him no want to be in no group. Him is alone, so him no want. Him is not obviously he's not a part of One Jamaica Legal Defense or Foundation. Obviously he's not a part of it. How him parachute into this too, but him can make he's so involved that he's running this protest. And
all right, I'm sure, but let me say what I've seen and experienced. We're always parrying on various platforms, including Lonesome's platform. I mean, various of us would go there and so on and so forth. Over the year or so we have been together or more. And so it's just logical that if he's doing something in Canada, that we'd support him. That's all.
Yeah, but he's running and protest under what umbrella? Under what umbrella was that protest, Dr. Francis? Was it under Call to Action? He should not have that privilege to run a protest under Call to Action if that was the case.
Well, look, we could say that in retrospect, but we believe that it was worthy to do it, and I would do it again if once, because he supported us in terms of his platform and all that sort of thing. Unfortunately, it did not go as well as we would like. But I tell you something: if somebody is supporting me and somebody's with me, I will support them back.
Yeah, but if it had went well, Dr. Francis,
Dennis, let me put it this way, Dennis.
Yes,
all right. When Lonesome, how many people you have on your platform here that we're speaking on now?
I'm not counting it. I don't know. I should have.
Okay. All right. How many people would you say you have as a follower?
Well, I have like about 1,850, something like that. Something like that, 2,000.
And Wayne's claim to fame is that he has over 240,000.
Right. I know Wayne is big.
Okay. All right. So when you have that kind of platform, right? Then we go on that platform. We've been on that platform every Sunday night for town hall, right? Okay. So we'll go on the platform so we can get to our folks
and reach a wider audience.
A wider audience.
No, you're making sense. Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So it's not complicated.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you lay out the objective. I get a better understanding. That objective was not laid out before, so that's why I was coming a little bit harder on the question because I wanted to get some clarity.
I didn't say it up front, but I wanted to give you a step by step, blow by blow, as to how we got there, and that we in fact made the decision that we would go with the platform. Now, where it got complicated was because in the past, I think Carlos already told you that Ratty, Lion, and Carlos had recruited Brenda. And that Ratty told us in the end, if Wayne don't want to cooperate, we must go ahead and organize. Did he mention that?
No, I don't think so.
He didn't mention that. Doc Francis, where you at?
He must say hi.
Okay, but all right. But let's say that was the situation when Ratty was in Call to Action, right? I was only introduced to Brenda later on. Doc, Carlos didn't make it plain that Ratty and Lion had recruited Brenda in advance?
No, I don't think he had said that.
So that's why Carlos was supposed to be confirming that. But
no, I didn't know that. He had confirmed it with us anyway. and said it before, but you didn't say it to Dennis. You didn't say that, no.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Dennis, that was the plan, right? And Lonesome always knew that we were in the process of finding somebody to be in charge in Canada because he said he couldn't work with anybody. So what we were doing there in Canada, in addition to protecting our good name at the protest, was looking for quality people to join and to run. They call it the Global Jamaica Diaspora. They said it couldn't be a council in Canada; it had to be an association. So no problem. Okay.
Right.
So when we were in the middle of doing that, when this thing was becoming a reality, all of a sudden, I get a phone call from Lonesome saying, "Why are we organizing in Canada?" That he run things, and he was the person that we all had to come through to do things in Canada. Okay, really? Right? That was a shock to my senses.
I have no disrespect to the man, Lonesome, but that sounds so ignorant. But keep going.
All right, I will drive on. So you see what I'm dealing with now, right? So
I see what you are dealing with.
I'm saying if your friend Ratty can be telling you that we are organizing and it's a shock to you now, it's going to be a further shock to you when I'm telling you that you either join the group and follow the rules, or you stay on the outside and let the group exist.
Yeah.
And he's telling me how they can operate without him. If they want to go on a radio program, if they want to go on a podcast, whatever they want to do, they got to come through him.
I'm hearing some ego. I'm hearing some ego here in what you're saying. But what I would love to ask Ratty, though, a man of his caliber and education background, and how his demeanor and how he conduct himself. I would want to know what's a common denominator. When you have a friendship, there has to be a common denominator. That is the substance between the friendship. I'm trying to find out what would have been
this one is simple. You put Ratty and Lonesome over 240,000.
Oh, okay.
He's sharing the platform. You see what I'm saying now?
Okay.
He's sharing Lonesome platform, just like when he went with Andre. And Andre's platform, they were shared. Andre went on Lonesome's platform to grab platform share, so that they went to Andre. You understand?
Okay, so that's why me not agree them, because me not do platform share.
You don't share with Lonesome.
Oh, okay. So
you don't bow down to the king, so you know you're wrong.
But me have to protect my personal integrity. So me not gonna do that for the numbers. I'm so sorry, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now you see why I'm not rapidly growing. You're gonna laugh after me now and say I laugh at them.
It's not your fault, Dennis. You didn't kiss the ring, and you need to kiss the ring.
Yes, that's so.
Yeah.
I think I will remain with my slow movements, because I want to be organic about my doings. So I don't want to parachute into nothing that is not true to the substance that I am or I portray. I should say, when it comes to these protests, I handle these protests like a military guy. In the military, we do a debriefing and we do a lessons learned. And we've done it with every protest. We did it with Miami, we did it with New York, and we did it with Washington, right? I have a question for you, and I don't mean to cut you, even though I have a few questions for Dr. Francis. We have been seeing Herb all over the place, and we're listening to Herb and how we love how you articulate yourself. You do that very well. But just 30 seconds. Give us a background. Who's Herb? I want to know who's Herb Nelson, and what is your background? You mentioned military earlier, and I want to know if you have
Okay,
that
yeah. My background basically is I came to this country at 20 years old.
from.
I worked for the Jamaican government in the treasury. I worked for Lascelles Group of companies. I worked for Creamer Limited, and the last place I worked was Cars and Commercials. I graduated from high school 15 years, 11 months, and I work at all these places. And I was doing bookkeeping basically, or managing a milk distribution at Creamer, right? So when I came up, it was supposed to be for football scholarship at NYCC with Professor Ira Weiss. But then my dad had his heart attack, and somebody had to maintain sending money home to Jamaica. And I tried to get a job, and I couldn't get a job because I never was registered for the draft, and I was never drafted. So I joined the U.S. Army to get rid of that monkey off my back. I used to be in the cadet corps, so I, joining the military, I didn't fear. My parents feared me going to Vietnam, but I didn't make that bother me either. So I joined the military for 3 years. And brother, I ended up on a whirlwind for 24 years in the military, right? I retired as a master sergeant, and I got married, raised 3 girls, and that pretty much at the behest of the military, we got to see different parts of the world. In Europe, in Asia, in Latin America. So I also never forgot Jamaica. When I was in New York as a recruiter, I was the borough leader for Jamaica Progressive League in Queens, New York, along with a Navy recruiter named Burchell McCormack. When I got to Houston, we helped to start the Jamaica Association of Houston, today named the Foundation, and I became vice president and then president, right? Everywhere I've played soccer for the Jamaica under 19, went off to Cuba, represented Jamaica. And I played for a team called Golden Aces, which later became Constant Spring. And there I was the club captain, and I did some coaching because, myself, Underl Sidney Williams, who played for Jamaica, and a couple other people that played for St. George's College were on that team. And we made it all the way to Major League and set a record, 7-0, winning 7 straight, right? But pretty much when I came up, and I joined the military, I was still playing soccer in the military. I was a member of Special Operations Force for about 3 years. After the 3 years, I went back to being on the regular Army side. And then they selected me because of my record to be a recruiting officer.
Okay.
And I ended up in New York, where I was recruiting. I was top recruiter in New York, recruiting a lot of Jamaicans, Haitians, all kinds of Caribbean people, and putting them in the Army. I did that for 2 years, then transferred down to Houston, Texas. And in Houston, Texas, I did the same thing I was doing in New York. I was one of the top guys, became station commander in charge of my own station, and that kind of stuff. But at every place I've been to, I was leading in the community, doing community development. Activists, right? So that, in a nutshell, tells you. And I kept going to school while I was in the military, and when I left the military. So when I was in here in Washington, I have always been a community activist
Okay.
for Jamaica.
For
I
Jamaica,
am
okay.
the Institute of Caribbean Studies at the OAS in Washington. Dr. Clear Nelson, PhD, is head of that. Doc knows her well. I'm also the board chair of the Crime and Security Committee, and I do investigations across the Caribbean in different Caribbean islands, and
Okay.
I bring things to the attention of State Department and USAID.
Okay. Great.
I also work with members of Cyberpol, Cyber Policing Organization, which is overseas in Belgium and England. And Doc knows because we took a proposal to Jamaica to set up a security operations center and to set up fusion centers in Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. But unfortunately, when the head of Cyberpol ran background checks on the different government people he was dealing with, he didn't like what he saw on those background checks, and he pulled out of whatever deals they were having in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
Right. So here I am, and I'm doing this work because I was one of the founding members with Doc of the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force.
Oh, so you are linked with Doc and various levels. I thought you were more with Ratty, a greater time for Ratty, because I
No,
noticed
I'm linked with Doc. I got Doc and I linked with Ratty on our first visit to Jamaica in 2016 to promote the various anti-crime programs, to include the State program.
Okay. You know, say you and that all over social media. I found a picture me say all over social media that we alone some have. Okay. I want to ask Doc a question because I'm hearing things and I just want to verify something. Dr. Francis, it was said that you were sent to infiltrate the crew and destroyed as a card carrier, JLP farmer, JLP hitman. You wanna?
You muted, Doc.
Yeah, I said, look at the background. You see a green background? It's not only a green screen, it's a labor right background, right? They have it all this time and so on and so forth. Let me tell you something. I may have been a laborite, and I guess the labor is going to stay there. I don't mind the labor, but I'm a patriot, okay? And I believe that the average Jamaican person must be treated right, no matter how small you are, how big you are. Okay, so if they want to burn me for that, let them go. But let me make it quite clear. We said we were not going to be partisan. And if people would be after me, the amount of people want to kill me, who want to burn my house down, who want to do this or whatever, right? Why would they want to do that if I'm a mole for them? Does that make sense? So whoever said that's a total idiot, nincompoop if you ask me. Okay, and I hope they're listening because they are nincompoop supreme. That is what they are. Okay, how would I? And I was sitting down there, and people are talking certain things in many places I've gone. Right? Let me tell you something. I don't play that way, my friend. I'm simply saying that if you love your country, you can do the things that myself and Herb has done. And he can validate what I have done and so on and so forth. They even said, his wife even said, well, I know, Lonesom's wife, and she must tell her that I was a JLP hitman.
Yeah, that may ask you.
I'm a boxer.
That may ask you, but when you come on the show, I think before we go down the ear, or probably when you just get on, you spoke so well about the man's wife.
Yes. No. At first, I'm saying to myself, she was a wonderful host. etc., etc. Of course she was. But he made her come and say that. Nobody can tell me that. Come and say what she said, because where she gonna get that from? She don't know me from Adam, right? And that doesn't mean I will respect her, but he is the one who disrespected her by allowing her to say what she said. He's dangerous.
So let me ask you this: how, and I probably should start by asking Mr. Nelson this: is it how important to resolve what is going on social media?
Dennis,
Yes,
before we even get to that, here's what happened. If people are listening to us right now and they believe anything Lonesome told them, even after hearing the little explanation we have given, then they're of the same make and model as Lonesome. They have no goddamn sense. When I
are you saying that Lonesome not no sense?
Right. Listen,
Okay.
I was saying to you before you went switch the dock that I do the after action and the critiques. When Lonesome was talking to me about what happened the day after at his house, I made it very clear to him. When he said that he couldn't work with anybody else, I said, Wayne, let me give an example of working with anybody else. What happened yesterday at our function, meaning Friday? He said, well, things went okay. And I said, wait a second. What did you advertise the time to be? 3 to 10. When did we get started? Actually start 6:30 to 11, right? Okay. Did we have a program, an agenda that we could follow? No agenda was made up. So everybody was cold turkey, right? He brought up this thing before that Brenda was trying to steal people. Brenda wasn't trying to steal people. I explained earlier in the program that we were there to get good people to join our council, Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, which is association in Canada, and that these people would have served Jamaicans well in Canada.
So you weren't there just to protest, you were there recruiting as well.
Yes, absolutely. Right? And he was aware of this because Ratty made him aware of it, as I mentioned before. Okay? So how do you come to me when I explain to you why you cannot talk about being the Lone Ranger when you're doing this kind of work? That you do need a team in place to help you. I say, if you had a team when you went home to change and come back, the team would have taken care of whatever necessities there were. The team would have made up an agenda for the evening's program, right? I'm trying to tell him what we do as a team, but he wasn't listening, right?
There you go again.
He was
the man not a part of the thing, so the man never follow the standard. The man, you said earlier that he no listen to people. So he wasn't even organizing with any class standard or nothing of call to action. He was just doing his one thing.
Yeah, but Dennis, at some point we gotta tell Lonesome why he doesn't even qualify to be an org. He didn't qualify to be a member of Call to Action because he can't follow directions. He didn't qualify to run anything. He didn't qualify to run anything because verbally he's limited in speech, and when it comes to brain power, he can't think. He can't think past his nose. So if he wants to be a part of our group, he has to do a better job than what he did. He was more interested in making the money so that he could pay for his overhead expenses. That's
you're not saying he's an illiterate person, though. You're not saying. Are you implying that you think he's illiterate?
He must be, because he didn't hear a goddamn thing I was telling him. And I told him, I said, what I'm saying to you is in confidence, right? I didn't tell him something that he could go the Monday and have a show to discuss with his wife Angie how he's gonna get back at Herb and Dr. Francis. And that's exactly what he did. He came back on and he don't realize everything I was telling him where he didn't meet the standard and why we needed to talk to some more affluent people to get the funding for OJLDF and to support the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. He didn't understand that's what I was getting at. And he's repeating it as if it was something personal against him. No, it is a critique, but it's an after action debriefing to say what we can do better. And by the way, if he decided to join the group, then he would see how we push the group to be more mature and to achieve things at a higher level. You follow me?
I get this. So lonesome behavior and conduct right now. What impact does that have on the group? I mean, OJLDFR call to action. What impact did have on the
he has defamed us, he's slandering us, and he has no cause of action to have to do that. He has absolutely no leg to stand on because we were supporting each other in a cause that Rattigan set up. And we were there to support Rattigan and himself and to stand up for our call to action, stand up for anti-corruption. Look, he clashed. Two people objected to what I was saying in the place. And they objected because he was saying that when Mark comes in, things will change. Well, Mark is not by himself. Mark has a team with him. And if he doesn't have enough votes, he can't change anything. So this is the people are trying to ask him, what can Mark do to raise the standard up, get the constitution changed, and get some other changes made with the judiciary and other things. And he could not articulate that because he was busy attacking the man, thinking the man is attacking Mark Golden, right? So he was completely off base, right? And then even my good friend Byron was trying to explain to the young man what Lonesome was trying to say. But neither two of them understood. The man was getting at, how do you change things through legislation and the Constitution and stuff like that? They need to go back and play the tape and see where things went off the rails.
Are you at all, Mr. Nelson, political? Are
No.
you taking a partisan position?
And
if that's true, I think that's where some of the problem lies with Lonesome, and you're probably implying that too. That is, it might be a political extremist, and that's what you guys see playing out there.
Yeah, but you know, Rattigan figured he could work around all of that, and we figured as long as Rattigan kept that under control, that we could get the job done, right? But as you can see, all of this is going on, and the only person that is trying to run interference has been Marie, has been a good friend from Daisy Magazine, right? And she's a part of the Sunday night program with me and Rattigan and Lonesome.
Okay.
Right?
So where's that Sunday night program now?
Well, they had it Sunday night gone, but he didn't send me an invitation. So I guess that was a clear signal that he was going to come down hard the next day, which he did, right? But to use what I told him in the debriefing and I told him it's behind closed doors, so nobody has to know what I'm saying to him, right? It shows he cannot think, Dennis. He's not any kind of team player, and he does not gain our trust. Matter of fact, I don't know whose trust he'll ever gain doing business like this.
We're gonna wrap up shortly because we've been about an hour and a half. But let me ask you this question, Mr. Herb Nelson. Where is Herb Nelson and Wilfred Rattigan after all this?
After all this,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I know, after Lonesome did not invite me back Sunday night, the Saturday I was on Rattigan's program.
Okay.
I've always been on Rattigan's program. I've always supported it because it's something we started together.
Okay.
Right? And I know that he's making improvements now, and that Prezi and the ambassadors are trying to be the guidance for the program. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to do 3 to 8 o'clock. We still ended up doing 3 to 11 o'clock, even with the guidance from the people, because we just have so much to discuss. So, you know, if you have a floor manager who's supposed to be Prezi, and the group is supposed to help guide, then we have to do more to perfect that.
Right.
And the show relatively has been very good.
Yes, I think it's a great show. Dr. Francis, where is Dr. Francis and Lonesome?
Me?
After this.
I'm no Dr. Lonesome. I'll take on his mantra. I'll be back lonesome, because if I can talk to you so good and I can express my support for you, and you turn around bite me. You see what dog bite you in the yard once? It's the dog's fault. In biting the second time, it's your fault. And there won't be a third time. The point I'm trying to make is this. I have no problem with working with a genuine Jamaican for change. I have no problem. There are people here listening and watching our behavior. And it's the same. We are not changing. I believe that what we have done is God's work, literally. Working for the betterment of our country, because somebody has to do it. I spoke to someone today without prompting, and they told me some of the things that, we have to look for. We cannot afford to give up our land to other people. We have to prepare for storms. We have to be prepared. Don't just talk about it. We have to do things that in genuine, so people don't have to suffer. We have to stay prepared, as the scouts say. And one of the most important things, we have to support each other. As a people, we do not.
Okay.
But I can tell you something. There's a lot of women out there, and men, Jamaicans, who have seen these last few days, and they're no more aware, and they will be able to carry us into the future. Okay? Because they understand what is going on. And we'll be keeping up this mantra. Okay. Of course, as for me, I will be setting up something that people can watch and listen and talk to in another week or so. And maybe more, I don't know. But just to be able to interact with people on a genuine basis.
Yes, sir.
I have nothing else but love for my country, my family, and all the families of the world that are listening. And I hope we come together and make sure that our children are not exploited, our country is not exploited, and we have a pathway for our children for the future. That's all I want.
All right, let me ask you this though, because it's just fair. Let me ask you the question too. Where are Dr. Francis and Ratty today?
I have no problem with Ratty. I spoke to Ratty a couple of days ago, but I haven't spoken to him since this has happened. It will be interesting to hear what he has to say. I don't have a problem with Rattigan. In fact, when I started this, all people thought that it was not a good fix, but I don't have a problem with that. There are people saying that we were able to put things together, the biennial conference, many things together, we worked together, and we got it done together. And it's for me, I'm willing to work with Rattigan until we achieve our aim. But I want to understand that it is a mutual respect that has to be maintained, as we have, and we don't have a problem. But we have to be careful who we have around us, surrounding us.
I want to get the final thoughts from you guys, but before I get into that, Daisy, Debbie, and Deborah, Don James, and everybody, blessings and thank you guys for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe to Sutherland TV. Also, it's not too late. I have a 1,000 backpack drive that I'm doing for Jamaica, the kids in Jamaica. We're gonna fly out the things by ear. We haven't started shipping yet, but I spoke to the shipping company. They're gonna take 3 days, so we're gonna start shipping this weekend. And I'm still taking donation, book backpack, school supplies, or cash if you want to sell. The number is there, and we are GoFundMe and Facebook. I should have dropped the something in it, but I'm not so clever, so I'm not able to drop the link. Anyways, thank you guys for stopping by. But Herb Nelson, I want to hear your final thoughts. I give you a minute to give me your final thoughts. Everything I laid on us. Take a minute and do that.
Okay. I up to the time I left, I enjoyed the trip to Canada because I was able to relay the opinions later on also of the collective. Everything that you heard me say tonight, we discussed it before I even said it.
Yes.
Right? We were up, I want to tell Mama Angie, I respect her, and I hated to see her being used the way she was. Nobody was operating on Wayne's back. I don't have a show, so I don't have to increase any numbers by riding Wayne's back, right? I believe I have contributed to Wayne's town hall on Sunday night, and that that's increased his following, right? Same way I believe I've increased Ratty's following by operating on Ratty's show. I'm not against Wayne. I like Rattigan, believe in fighting corruption, and that's what we're about. That's what we need to concentrate on, and forget all the noise, because the noise is coming from the ignorant people who don't understand.
Yes.
And when I look back here, something that was said that we, the call to action people, force Ratty out of the group. And Wayne's wife said that we never force anybody out of the group. Ratty left of his own accord, and Ratty is cooperating with the group that's is helping him with his show and helping to promote One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, which I'm on the board with Ratty of OJLDF. I'm on the board of Doc's, as a founding member of the task force. So I can share ideas between both stations. And those ideas go towards the fight against corruption in Jamaica. We don't care whether you JLP, PNP, or PPP, or whatever P you are. We are against corruption, period. It happens that the party in power now is the party that's the most corrupt. So we have to fight against that. When Mark Golan time comes, we got to deal with that. Okay? So I don't take any sides. Right? I'm looking forward to continued work in the anti-corruption arena, and the fact that we can make our mark as looking out for the people of Jamaica, educating the people of Jamaica, and making the people of Jamaica proud of us and proud of themselves.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. There's somebody calling. Let me find out if they're calling in.
Hi, good evening, Don, man. Don James.
Hey, Don.
Well, go on, big up yourself.
Yeah,
Look here, I'm more than that, but me not gonna say nothing, and they must talk out everything and just talk it out. But Saturday, you hear more. Everybody could talk, and then I'm sure you're gonna hear the whole truth. But me.
All right, thank you. So you're saying there's more than what is being said here tonight? You're getting a feedback from your Don. Yeah, Don said there's more to. Sorry to cut you, but I had to take it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, the only thing left for me to do is ask Ratty for the names and the amounts of the contributions that was made in Toronto that we collected, because that is accountability, and we can show that we're transparent. Okay. Right? We have no dog.
Yeah. No. Take me off of this something. Take me off of that. We never did know say I have me on Tommy.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, but my live stream, that's why. Sorry. All right, me cut it out and me get that chance. All right. My live. Yeah, she called, but she never knows I'm live, I guess. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I don't have any permission from the people whose name we collected to turn over any names to Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the people want to be a part of the global Jamaica diaspora, and they call me and tell me that, that's the only way I would offer a name or something like that.
Okay.
Right?
So
we have a separate group of people that were recruited. So we don't need Wayne or anybody else to tell us that, you know, we came there to do something that was nefarious. We are not operating in the dark. We're operating in the light. We shine a light on everything we do, and we don't need to operate in the dark. I just wanted to remind folks that when we got there, Dennis, we never brought no liquor into the place. And I've been hearing this rumor that somebody brought liquor in. That was not us. All right. So whatever they want to discuss, I hope they discuss it all in full. Right? If they want to come on Ratty's program and run them out and come with this made up stuff, they better be ready.
So somebody was asking, I haven't seen, I get a phone call that there's somebody have a concern about the issue of money. What you had said just now, you're just waiting to hear from Ratty how much money was collected, but there was no money that was shared like Vegas said. There was no money shared and did not share, right? There's no issue like that.
No, all the money is collected went to Ratty. I was only able to get the names of the people who gave me money personally.
Okay.
But Ratty has some other names that and I don't want to call them that needs to let me know on how much was collected.
So as of now, there is no issue of money.
There's never been an issue of money in OJLDF, Dennis, or with the call to action group. The only issue that ever came up was people asking, can we get help with travel? And that issue was dealt with, as Doc would tell you, and his partner on radio, who asked for reimbursement to go from Florida.
That's Prezi, yeah.
Prezi, yes. But I have not been reimbursed for no hotel or no airline travel.
Are you seeking reimbursement?
No. And as a matter of fact, like I explained to you, even when doing the deep dives, I spent money up front because we had to move at the time to find out if certain things were true
Right.
and defend people. But we understand that is the mission of OJLDF, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have been executing that properly and in accordance with the IRS edicts. So when they come out and they're making statements, I say to Ratty, don't share the money with them. I don't know what they're talking about because we don't share money amongst ourselves that we collect, right? Now, in the past, we had the thing in New York, right? And then we had people give money, and then we were able to roll that money over on like the filming and the broadcast and the rental of equipment for the DC one, right? But we do not have any anything that we have shared amongst ourselves, like we're splitting up bank robbery, spoils, or something like that. No, that's not how we operate. Everything has been above board.
So clearly, you are the one of the persons that was in the dispute, and you're saying to Vegas and his followers. So you are lying, Vegas. There is no dispute or no issue of money. That's what you're saying.
Look, I will not even do the courtesy of addressing Vegas,
Okay.
right? Because I don't have no time for stupidity and stupid people, right? There's no way that we have ever had issues. Not Miami, not New York, not DC, right? And certainly not in Toronto. We know how we collect money. People walk up to us and hand us money. We annotate it and we turn it in. All right? You have different people will tell you that. They hand money to me, they hand money to Doc, they hand money to Ratty, they hand money to whoever. But they will then say, no, it's going to OJLDF, here her or here Ratty. Right? We don't have a money problem. So all this hoopla that's been going around, I even got a call from Zara Burton. Somebody sent her something trying to create the appearances that we're having money issues. We have no money issue. None whatsoever.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Herb Nelson, for your input. I just want to give that Francis, even though him not like me tonight, an opportunity to close us out with this final part.
I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who's listening in. And I hope, and I certainly will be watching on Saturday, whatever is happening. And I want to thank Mrs. Lonesome for her hospitality. I mean, and the food was great, by the way. And, I thank her for that. I must admit, I can't thank her for the things that she said afterwards, but I will forgive her for that. But what I also want to say is that nobody is in no money thing. The amount of time we spend, the amount of money we spend personally, and some of us are on not big income anymore, and we still do it, and we make sure we show up and we support, okay, the time, the energy. And, people don't know the background story. But I want to say to you that here are a bunch of people, and I'm not saying it because my buddy is there, Herb or Carlos or whoever. But I want you to understand that we believe in what we are doing. We thank everybody for coming out. We want the support. Please don't get all jagged up. You can't treat people badly. You have to set an example as a leader. A leader leads. It's not just by happenstance. And stop calling people's names, talking about this and talking about it. It just doesn't, it's not true. And we can prove it's not true. All right. But if you let it out there, you think it's going to stay on social media and it's going to be, inform people. That's not true. what we are doing is for the people, and we know it. Even though sometimes it's hard on ourselves, we do it. I mean, come on, I see what Herb does, and I'm telling you, I mean, you know, mine is minuscule in comparison. But I tell you, we keep on doing it. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to work with you and to work with everybody. And we look forward to continuing to make a difference in our country, Jamaica, land we love. And that's basically what I would like to say.
Thank you very much, Dr. Francis. Guys, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe. Help to build this channel because, as Herb had mentioned earlier, it is a neutral channel. I'm not taking it, it's not a partisan channel. I'm not a Labourite. I'm not affiliated with the PNP. I have no affiliation. In my work, you would have seen the things that I have done and the things that I'm doing. I'm all about Jamaica, the kids in Jamaica, and also the crime concern. And that's why I am doing what I'm doing, to see if I could make changes with my platform. I know I don't have 200 and something people, and I'm not gonna lower 200 and something thousand people, but I'm not gonna lower my standard to get there. I'm gonna get there. If I ever get there, it's gonna get there from my truth. I'm not gonna parachute myself to the numbers with no fake, nothing. I'm gonna be real, and my integrity is what is important to me, and I'll keep it that way. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Support the backpack drive if you want to. It's still going on. I will end the program somewhere around Sunday, and so that we could ship things to Jamaica. We are doing great in it, though. A lot of people. We have 8 schools on our program that is excitedly waiting to receive their backpack. And the 8 school is in 3 in Clarendon, 3 primary school in Clarendon, 2 in Manchester, so school in Manchester, and 3 in St. Elizabeth and 1 in Westmoreland. So that's where we're going, and that's what we're doing. Just support the thing. Thank you again for stopping by. Guys, respect, and we'll look forward to do this all over next week. Take care and all the best. One love, one Jamaica. And that was it. Oh, dear.
Launched, in which we launched shortly after the assassination attempt took place. Our teams are still